What made you get into animation?
I don't know.
Was there like a moment where you decided, where you were like, I always watch The Simpsons or whatever, and I just love that, or was it just something else?
I mean, I did watch The Simpsons and love it, and in fact, I liked the Halloween episodes of The Simpsons more than any others. I was just like, I'd really like this world where the rules don't really apply, the normal rules don't apply, and I was always into cartoons as a kid, like Tom and Jerry and stuff like that. Just anything that moved, really.
Yeah.
Had no interest in stuff that was filmed, really. And I think it was South Park that really did it. It was like, oh, this can look basic and kind of crappy, but still be funny.
Yeah.
And so I just thought, well, if I can even make something that's half as good looking as South Park, then I can make animation.
I tell you what, I feel like South Park has held up so much better than The Simpsons has.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, like, don't get me wrong, nothing holds a fucking candle to the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But the minute that Armand Tamzarian pops his fucking head out, like, it all turns to shite. And I was trying to watch some more recent stuff of The Simpsons to try and be like, surely it can't be this bad. And it's unwatchable.
I think with The Simpsons, it's because it was always a family-friendly show. And so they've had to like sort of water it down as it's gone on, because they're just worried about everything.
Yeah.
Whereas South Park's the opposite. They want to be more and more offensive.
Well,
so the quality gets better as they do it.
Do you know what? I agree with what you're saying, but I think what they've watered down isn't actually the language. I think it's the characters themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, I remember, like, in the early seasons of The Simpsons, Homer always used to be a flawed but well-meaning idiot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
He's a realistic person.
Totally. But the whole thing about it was that it was a fundamentally good person that made a series of dreadful choices all of the time. Whereas now, the Homer's just an absolute brain-dead moron. That's, oh, I'm sorry, Marge, I didn't mean to put your birthday cake in the bin for no fucking reason. It's just full of daft things that you just look at and you go, these characters they're not, I know it sounds so daft for animation, but they're not realistic. Do you know what I mean?
It did start as it was just supposed to be a normal family, wasn't it? And then now it's just stupid.
Well, didn't they have like a thing with a poo from The Simpsons? Like, it wasn't like a big thing over that.
Yeah, someone made a film about it, and then the actor that played him no longer plays him now because he's a white guy. So now they got an agent.
Well,
so then they just retired the character, I think.
The Simpsons were kind of they were pretty, they held up their beliefs that it doesn't matter, who does the voice or whatever, and political correctness can go fuck itself or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was fine for a while, but then there was just so much pressure on them. They were just like, oh well, we'll just change the character because just to shut people up.
Yeah.
I think that's because at first they were just like, no, we're not changing anything. We run this show, and then it's just like they caved to the pressure, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it gets to the point, doesn't it? There's a push point where you just go, it's just easier just to fucking not have to deal with this anymore. But the problem is you just kick the can down the road then, don't you?
Yeah.
If a new thing came out though with that kind of like stereotype, you'd be like, that's a bit, I don't know about that. But it's because it's always been there that you're just fine with it. Like, when you see those old clips from like Spike Milligan in the 70s or something, and he's doing like Pakistani Daleks or something.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oof, you just kind of, you pull that face when you do it, it's like, oh, I don't know about that. But it worked then, not now. I think that's the same with Apu in the 90s. It's like, you're not going to make a new character like that. It's just people don't want to change the old thing. Besides the fact no one really cared that much because it was like, well, all the good. We're 20 years since the good episodes. But,
Yeah.
I think they changed it. I reckon someone had a word with them and just said at Fox and just said like, we're getting a lot of pressure on us. Advertisers are being pressured.
Yeah. Just change it.
Whereas
It's
South Park
easier.
just stuck to the guns, and I think they're just going more offensive. Well, not offensive, but they do what they want to do. Really, I don't think they'll bow to pressure as much.
But they're
as
like
Simpsons.
social commentary and stuff over the last few years. It's just been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's got I think it gets better and better, South Park, as opposed to The Simpsons, which I think gets worse and worse.
It's topical, isn't it? Don't they make an episode in like a week, South Park, from start to finish?
I think The Simpsons as well, if the best episodes are all based in the 90s and they're all full of references from the 80s and 70s as well.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you watch one now and they've got Twitter and they're on phones and they're
Yeah.
they've got the sort of PS4 or whatever. It just feels weird. It just feels
Yeah.
wrong.
But it feels crowbarred in as well.
Yeah.
Like they've gone, hey, look how relevant we are. We've got Maggie with an iPad. Whoa.
And they're not like clever observations about them either. They used to sort of cut through that night. I think they were almost, it was a reaction to the fact that most comedy was kind of crappy, especially American comedy.
Yeah.
It, like in the 80s and 90s, it was really like there was like the sitcom sort of feel was just, I don't know, it just had a hold of all comedy, especially American comedy in the 80s. And they were just like, just coming off of that, they could just react to that. They could even just kind of like parody bad comedy at the time. And that's gone away. So things that they were making fun of in the 90s, and a lot of the people who are making it are the same people, like Al Jean and Mike Reese, I think. They were working on The Simpsons in the 90s. So they were making fun of stuff from their era.
Yeah.
And now they're here still today. Making fun of stuff from today. And it's just like dad jokes, really, isn't it? You know, like dads that were funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything has a shelf life. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I think that The Simpsons shelf life, it fucking went years ago, so long ago.